And at that, you would think that this religious man, Simon the Pharisee, would be touched to see this woman's penitent heart. But not so. He went the polar opposite. Judgmentalism, condemnation. He went into that place as he looked at Jesus. He didn't say a word, but his thoughts were easily understood. Here's what he thought. Verse 39 says, when the Pharisee who had invited Jesus saw this, he said to himself, if this man were a prophet, he would know who's touching him and what kind of woman she is, that she's a sinner. You know what that leads us to conclude? That when Simon judged Jesus, he was judging him on 3 levels. Level 1, if he was really a prophet, he would have discerned the character of this woman. So Simon's understanding of prophet was accurate in that prophets not only spoke the future, but they also could discern the character of those in their midst. And so Simon thought that if Jesus was really a prophet, he would have known that this woman was a prostitute, a checkered past, someone that was steeped in sin, devoted to sin. He would never have let her touch him. The second level of his judgment towards Jesus was very clear. That if Jesus knew what kind of a woman she was, not only would he have known her character, but he would never have let her touch him. Pharisees thought, if a Gentile or non-Jew touches you, or even a Jewish person who is steeped in sin physically touches you, you're polluted because of their polluted life. His judgment of Jesus was that, how could you let this polluted person pollute you by touching you? The third level of his judgment in that question that was internal was, since Jesus allowed this woman to touch him with her tears and with her hair, he's not a prophet that others should listen to and should regard as a prophet from God. So I want you to see how judgmental he was. When I read the text, instead of me quickly rushing to fight against this judgmental Pharisee, I stopped and I began to ask myself the question, David, are you judgmental of others? Maybe not quite that way, but in your own way? Have you deemed yourself better than others and them less than you in whatever area? Or have you behaved like a Pharisee, separated yourself from others who don't serve Christ the way he calls them to serve him? Let me ask you the question. If I searched your life, would I find that you have people in your life that are unbelievers that you have befriended? Not necessarily to share the gospel, but because it's just something that you must be able to live your life, not just in a sequestered private society where it's a subculture where you have your Christian friends and you go out to your diner with your Christian buddies and you sing with your Christian friends and you hang out with your Christian friends and you talk on the phone with your Christian friends and you text message your Christian friends and you tweet your Christian friends, you Facebook your Christian friends, they're your only friends. Is that what your life looks like? If it does, you're a Pharisee. A modern day Pharisee. We may have unconsciously maneuvered ourselves out of the world and into our cloistered, sequestered, safe Christian conclave. And we stay behind our walls and we throw rocks of judgmentalism against people that have pain, that people that do wicked things, people that do sinful things, people engage repeatedly in sinful acts, and we're throwing stones at them, and I'm saying our Lord wants us to check our hearts. That we're not like this Pharisee, that we don't find that the more pious you become, the more distant you become, or the more pious you become, the more judgmental you become, the more pious you become, the more condemning you become. Not so. We must see that as we grow like Jesus, that our goal is to look like Him, behave like Him, think like Him, and think about what others said even about Him, that He was a friend of sinners. Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to adopt people's way and lifestyle that's deplorable. What I am saying is that you got to see yourself as a physician of the soul.